All right. Keith Werman was named the 15th manager in BlueClaws history, leading them in 2022. This is their second season as the Phillies High A affiliate. Um, Look, I haven't had a coach on who's been 10 years younger than me yet, so I have to tell you the research was interesting. What's it been like for you, a man from Virginia, to come back to the East Coast and get to be here with the BlueClaws?
Yeah, it's awesome. It's really nice. Obviously, my wife and I, we both have family out here along the East Coast, and um, had an opportunity to get back over here in the Phillies organization and experience some new things on my side of things. But really excited for being out here. Love the seasons, love the climate change. It started out a little bit chilly here to begin the season, but definitely enjoying it.
You are going to coach, well, you're coaching in a kind of a special place for us. It's down by the shore. For people that are from Philadelphia, New Jersey area, the shore is kind of a special place. What's it like to kind of coach by the shore, and what's it been like early on for like the players?
Yeah, it's a new experience for me. I've always driven through the Jersey area. My brother lives in Philly, and so it's still a little bit of a new environment for me. Definitely settling in. The fans have been great. I know it's been real chilly the first couple of games, but as we've gotten warmer weather, the fan base has grown a little bit, and it's a really fun environment. I think the players love the ballpark, and they love the environment that the fans produce for us. So it's been a great start so far.
You're a local East Coast guy in terms of the Virginia area who played baseball, and it seems like there were lots of fun stories of you growing up playing ball. Did you really switch hit every at bat?
In Little League, when I was little, yes, yeah. Regardless of the pitcher, just for the fun of it, we just had tried to have fun, as much fun as possible, and it was a good challenge too. Just alternate left, right, every at bat, regardless.
Yeah, but
And
it wasn't enough for you to switch hit. You decided that at some point you needed to switch pitch too. Like, who? How do you come up with the idea as a kid that I'm going to throw from both sides of the plate? And how do you have a parent or parents that say pick an arm?
Yeah, when I started out really little, obviously my brother's about 7 years older than me, and you talk about passionate about the game of baseball and loves it and live and die by it and work harder than anybody. He was always active with baseball, and I was in diapers running around, starting to throw the ball with my left hand, and them looking out for me and my future, the ability to play every position. You don't need to, but realistically, you should be throwing right-handed. So they kind of developed me into a right-hander, and we'd play wiffle ball. We had a batting cage in the backyard. We used to throw in the cul-de-sac, and it just became one of those things that, hey, let's give it a shot and see what you got. Why not try it? And it came out pretty natural, and we just took it off from there.
Did you get the special glove, or did you have to have two gloves?
I actually did. Once we started realizing what I could do when it came to both hands, my dad called me up into we had a little office, a little computer, and traced my hands on a piece of paper, sent it to a company, and they sent us a glove, a little 6-finger glove, like a little trapeze glove. It was pretty cool.
What's it like to have your dad coach you? Jeff doesn't ask this question, but he coached his son in the little leagues. What was that like for you to have that experience with the family?
Oh man, I was very lucky. It was pretty special bond, obviously, with your dad being out there every day with you, and he obviously wants the best for you. And I was fortunate. I'm not a big guy by any means, and a lot of times the little guy gets stuck into a small, out in left field or just second base, and my dad tried to create an environment for all of the players to experience as much as possible. Everybody pitched, everybody played all the positions for the most part, and we just had a blast doing it, and he made the game fun. I think that was unique about it, and obviously for him, and now myself with two little kids, I'd love the opportunity to be there for him every single day as much as possible. And I think that's just a special bond you have with the dad and your son, and you get that chance to do that. It's pretty cool.
It seems like you're somebody who just likes to have fun around the game. You get to experience the College World Series in 2009 and 2011, playing for your home state team with Virginia under a coach who was a mentor. Tell us about what that experience was like out in Omaha.
Oh man, I mean, you talk about memories that'll last forever, and a group of guys that you'll always be connected with, and it was a challenge for sure. Obviously, everybody strives to get there. There's a ton of really great teams out there, and the opportunity to be one of the final 8 to get there that's pretty remarkable. It says a lot about the program at Virginia and the players that we had, and our fight to have some success. And it was a blast. It was really, really, really fun. You work really hard. It was tough. It wasn't easy. You're exhausted after every game, but the experience, just the fans, the stadium, just the overall experience of Omaha is you can't take that away from anybody.
Yeah, people don't, we talk about the Final Four in basketball so often and the college championship with football. What is it like to be part of that and for Omaha? What's the experience like? I know it's a lot of fun, but what's the experience like from a player's perspective?
Oh man, there's all kinds of stuff. I mean, you talk about distractions off the field. I mean, at our workout, you have the companies, whether it's Nike or Oakley, coming to your practice to basically provide merchandise for you as to represent them, and to what levels are those allowed and whatnot. But I don't know those rules, but to have those guys get in there and just sharing their appreciation for what you do and the fan base, and it's pretty special. It's pretty nonstop too. I mean, there's a lot of distractions off the field, that's for sure.
Yeah, did you ever think about, now that we have name, image, and likeness and college players can make money, that how much money or what you could have done with the fact that you were an ambidextrous pitcher?
I may have made a few dollars here or there. We'll see.
He's gonna have to go get name, image, and likeness as a manager for that. So you end up coming here from the Padres organization, but the interesting thing to me is how you got to the Padres organization. You're a man who spent some time over in Japan as international operations coordinator, but the culture wasn't new to you, whether you were at Virginia or with your mom. Can you explain your love with the Japanese culture and how that led you over to that part of baseball, which eventually got you to the Padres?
Yeah, I mean, I was very fortunate. Growing up, my mother put me in a Japanese immersion program in Northern Virginia, and it kind of kickstarted my interest there. Took the language in college, and I just wanted an opportunity to go to Japan and experience it. And I've always appreciated the way that they played the game in Japan, very fundamentally sound, and that their work ethic is off the charts. And to have that opportunity to go over there and build relationships with some really awesome people out there that they're just an extension of my family now. And they created an environment for me to learn and grow individually and just to experience everything, and to be able to tie that into going over to San Diego and to where I am now. I mean, I wouldn't be there without those guys. So it's pretty remarkable what they can do out there.
You talked about fundamentals over in Japan. We've talked to Jamie Moyer, we've talked to Greg Dobson, some other former Phillies, about how important fundamentals are and how fundamentals have kind of gotten lost in Major League Baseball. You're a big fundamental guy from what we've heard, even focusing on things that we don't even hear about anymore, like the sacrifice bunt.
What's that?
We had to look that up.
I can teach you.
Is that something that you've always been interested in? Is it something that you learned from your time over in Japan? Where did it come from?
Yeah, it's funny, reverting back to my dad as a coach. One of the joys of practice. At the end of every practice, he would put a dollar bill along the third base line, and every player had a chance to get the bunt as close to the dollar as possible. The closest to the dollar got the dollar. And there'd be random times where we put a batting glove out there and put money inside the batting glove. You didn't know how much money was in it. It just created a competitive environment, but all of us loved it. And his one rule was, if you asked that we were going to do it, we wouldn't do it. So the whole practice, everybody's excited to do it. But if we asked, we weren't going to be able to do it. So it's just a fun little challenge. But my dad always harped on the fundamentals. Obviously, you get to high school. My high school coach, Scott Rowland, harped on the fundamentals. It was just ingrained in me throughout my whole life. And to get the chance to carry that emphasis in college at Virginia and then into pro ball, I mean, the more I see the game, and even at the major league level, teams lose games more than teams win games, if that makes sense to you. And the more you watch the fundamentals and see how the game's played when it comes to the playoffs, the teams that make the least mistakes tend to have most success. So this is kind of something I've always recognized as really valuable to the game, and I don't want to lose that value.
You're talking to two people who regularly point out errors in a game. So we are enjoying the talk of that. You talk about the relationships you develop. You're in the Padres organization. You develop a relationship with Preston Mattingly, who comes over here to help reshape what the system looks like here. Can you talk about that relationship and about how he convinced you to come from the weather out west back east?
Yeah, I think he and I worked together very closely the last couple of years, more on the advanced side of the game on the major league with the major league staff, and so we worked very closely together throughout the last couple of years. And um, you know, you get to know the person for who they genuinely are and what they're passionate about. And when he had the opportunity to join the Phillies and be a part of kind of reshaping this culture, this identity of what we want to truly be about, and take this organization to another level, and to just a higher standard. It's the opportunity to jump on that with him. It was an easy conversation, honestly. Obviously we had the relationship together, and just to see the hunger and the passion and the sense of urgency in him to want to make these things happen and have the ability to do those things. I was really excited for the chance to be a part of that and really impact these players and impact the organization to do some really special things.
Yeah, I mean, and you're part of an organization, and especially the team that you're now coaching in the BlueClaws, that has a history of not only developing great players, but also winning. Dusty Wathan was there, a while back and won a couple championships there. And so,
Yeah.
how, as a young manager, how do you balance the idea of the competitive side of you that wants to win every game versus the idea that you're there to develop players?
No question. I think that's, for as a new manager, that's one of the biggest challenges that I've found myself with, literally game to game, inning to inning. Whether, there's certain situations, do I keep the pitcher in a little bit longer for the best interest for him? Or am I better off going to a guy in the bullpen that I feel at that moment has the best chance to get that out? And there's so many challenges to that, and trying to create that environment for these guys. I mean, you have to learn how to win baseball games. That's why we play the game, is to win. Ultimately, in the major leagues, that's where you have to win in the major leagues. That's why you play there. That's just really is a really tough dynamic in the minor leagues to get these guys to understand what it takes to win ball games, but also we have to also develop you to have success going forward to the major leagues.
And as you work to develop that and figure out your own approach, balancing winning versus development, baseball decides to hand a bunch of rule changes that you can work with in the minor leagues. So I'm going to save the shift for Jeff because that's his pet baby. I'll let him get to you next. But I'll go with the expanded pitch clock. The studies have shown it's shaved about 23 minutes off the game on average. How do the players react to that? And how do you as a manager kind of implement some of these changes that you yourself haven't had to deal with before?
Yeah, it definitely creates a little bit extra distraction away from what they're trying to accomplish or execute on the mound, really, or even at the plate for the hitters. Everybody has their own set routine that they like to do between pitches, and this is kind of reshaping a little bit of that. But if I'm completely honest with you, I actually have enjoyed it. I have liked it. I think when things are going well for you as a club, you want to maintain a really good tempo, a good pace to the game, and this pitch clock allows that to happen. Um, there's a lot of times where tempos can get really slow and the defense can start dragging, and you start seeing some misplays, and just it kind of builds a momentum, kind of shifts a different direction. I think it helps keep that momentum going. I think there's a few adjustments, obviously, they could make. To me, it's just in between innings, just the time clock just gets a little bit condensed, and the last thing we want is a pitcher forcing or speeding through their warm up pitches just to beat a pitch clock for one pitch. Those are all things that MLB's ironing out, or minor league baseball umpires they're ironing those things out, and we'll get to a place where there's some really nice flow going. But so far, so good. I mean, it has been a little bit of adjustment for the guys, but no major complaints, and we seem to be doing just fine with it.
Yeah, Jason mentioned my favorite thing, which is the shift. How is barring the shift working, or how do you deal with it? And are coaches trying to stick with it, or are they looking for ways around it?
Yeah, I think I personally like the shift. I hope I would
you
like to
want?
see it stay.
Yeah, I understand the art. So you're the argument like people should figure it out guy. You like the shift,
Yes.
or is that where it is?
To me, we're playing a game, and the rules are the players have to just stay in fair territory, except for the catcher. So play wherever you want to play. If you want to play 6 outfielders and 2 infielders, go do it. Like that's the game. That's the strategy, the art, and the beauty of the game. Like go do it. Like, what's stopping us from having to do that? When you start putting restrictions on some things, it just gets interesting. And you
People
know,
like Jeff complaining is what's stopping you from doing it.
no, I think at this level, what's challenging is you have really young players who don't. There's just not a lot of information about them, and there's a lot of development with creating instincts for our infielders to see the game in front of you, whether it's playing with counts, playing with who's on the mound. Is the guy late on his swings? Is he early on his swings? There's a lot of like little pieces to the game within the game that I believe the infielders need to learn how to do those things and to try to create an environment to do that. I think it's more about that's what it's more about than it is to say, hey, play right here. Some teams are trying to get as close as you can to it. Other teams just, hey, go play and kind of create those instincts.
All right. Well, so you may have seen, but up in Citizens Bank Park or with the Phillies organization, one of the gentlemen on our team, and a true gentleman normally is Kyle Schwarber. Kyle Schwarber had a meltdown with an umpire. So we had to ask you, have you ever had a Schwarber moment, or have you ever what's the closest you've come to a Schwarber moment?
Oh man, I'm not a very fiery guy. I don't, I recognize more so at our level that the umpires are doing the best they can too, and they're going to miss calls. It's part of the game. I just remember I was playing rookie ball. I think I was 23. And the umpire at home plate, I think, was 19 or 20. So I was already older than him. I knew I had more baseball experience than him, and it was an 0-2 count, and the pitch didn't even start out in the right-handed batter's box, and it ran even further. It like not even close. And all I could think of doing was I just looked at him. I said, "Hey, that's just not a strike. I don't know what to tell you. I just can't. Like, sorry." Like, what
did he let it go, or did he toss you?
He didn't. No, he didn't toss me. I didn't have it in my heart as a player to get myself tossed.
Well, maybe if you spend a little time with like Larry Boa when you're in the organization, maybe he'll teach you the art of arguing with the umpire.
He's a beauty. That's for sure. I've enjoyed him for sure.
And when we have umps on, we make sure to ask them about throwing people out. So don't think we just ask you about getting tossed. We make sure to ask umps too about their own experiences.
Yeah, we've had a couple calls this year so far, and I've addressed some things with the umpires, and it gets fiery for sure. I'll get in there. And let them know.
Well, some of the umpires have told us that some of these arguments look like arguments, but instead what they are is a coach yelling at the umpire recommendations for restaurants. So if you want to learn the restaurants down by the shore so you can give recommendations if you want to go out there and put on that show.
One umpire interview got very good Italian restaurant recommendations before signaling it was time for him to leave the field. So
that's good to know.
We should ask you a little bit about the players. You have some of the top names in the system playing on your team. I'll leave the picture for Jeff. I'll ask you about the international free agent from 2018, Johan Rojas, who is generating attention. And, I like the quote from him, "I don't like to lose." Tell us about what it's like to coach him and the adjustment that he's going through right now, because it seems like there's a lot of optimism with what people are saying, and you as a coach have to manage that.
Yeah, he's you talk about a spark plug to your clubhouse and your lineup and defense, just all parts of the game. He is electric, and he is passionate, and he does want to win. He's super competitive. He'll come into my office. Hey, how can we make these guys better? How can we get better as a club? Like, he's hungry for those things, and that says a lot about him for his character and who he is. And it's great. He gets up to the plate. He's aggressive early. he gets on the bases, he's looking to run, like he's forcing the other team to slow him down, and he's taking over the game, and it's pretty electric, and I'm really excited for him in his future.
When you see his motor, his drive, his competitiveness, are there times that you feel that you have to kind of slow it down a little bit, or do you just kind of unleash it and just say, "Go, let those competitive juices fly"?
Yeah, I just hope that I can create an environment to let him just go play, and sure, we're gonna have teaching moments throughout the game of, hey, what did you think about that play? Was that the right time to do those things? Let's look at reasons maybe not to, and just kind of create that dialogue in the dugout or before or after games, and just that's my hope is every game I just sit in the dugout and let the kids play and just go get them. If I have to step in and take over, like we're not doing the things that we're capable of doing.
Well,
Um,
some of the kids that you have to play are some pretty good arms you have in this organization, or
yeah,
the ones that you get to manage, or including Mick Abel. What's it been like to manage him, and what do you see from him?
yeah, he's been fun to watch. Obviously, still pretty young, still learning a lot of pitching development. Has electric stuff, has the body that everybody wants to see on the mound as far as presence and whatnot. And we're just continuing to challenge him and learn and grow with the game, and try to get the best out of him every outing that he's out there. I only see improvements as he goes, and it's going to be fun to watch.
Before we let you go, I wanted to ask you, obviously, we talked a little bit about your coaching style with the fundamentals. One of your mentors is in the Phillies organization now, Bobby Dickerson.
Mhm.
Can you talk about his influence on you, Brian O'Connor at UVA, and how they shaped you to the philosophy that you have with these young guys right now as you try to help them move to the next level?
Yeah, I think, at the end of the day, it comes like we play the game to win. And obviously, like we've talked about in the minor leagues, there's a balance of development and winning. But, when it comes to winning baseball games, you have to take care of the baseball. And it was fun to have that passion going into college. And Brian O'Connor instilled those same, foundational values. And to have him kind of challenged me to continue that on, and then to cross paths with Bobby Dickerson in San Diego, and he puts his arm around me the last couple of years, and we talked every single day, and it was constant dialogue all the time, and to see a lot of overlap and see some new experiences and all the things that he's gone through the minor leagues as in all kinds of roles. It says a lot for who he is and what he's done, and I couldn't be more thankful to have those opportunities with both of those guys.
Manager Keith Werman, the Jersey Shore Blue Claws, we appreciate the time. Can't wait to follow what you're doing with some of this talent in our system and wish you the best of luck there at the shore. Also, get those food recommendations ready for the umps.
I will. I'll start making a list.
And good luck down in Aberdeen. We're looking forward to seeing you once you get back to the Jersey Shore.
Awesome. Sounds good. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Have a great one. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.